App list. Apps. New.
Whoopsie doopsie. Alright. Do that in a moment while I do some stuff. More stuff. That should be parts 2. I need to do. Right. It's parts 2. I'm stupid. Alright, let's see here. Right. Oopsie. Right. Let's see. Hold on a moment while I just do some extreme stuff. Oops. All right. Make sure everything. Right. Again. All right. And hello, this is Right Places. I'm your host, and over here are my two co-hosts, Kirby and Snorlax. Say hello, Kirby and Snorlax. Hiya. And yeah, continuing on with, yes, a few days ago is the Ace Attorney Investigations thing. So, for those watching right now, And... oh. And gonna pin that one till the end of the stream. Alright. Time to push it. Time to see what is going on here in Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. Because my thing keeps falling down on me. Capcom. Alright. Continue on where I am. Sorry I'm a little bit late to this, but a few other plans coming in with me. So, we might get here. And I will continue on with this. Let's see what we have to work with. That's right, pal. I refuse to believe that Maggie's the culprit, pal. Did I just say that's right, pal? I refuse to believe that Maggie's the culprit, pal. Well, I did it twice anyway, so... it was... pretty sure I went through here. But here. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, then that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all the more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message. And I'm just going to wait until all this stuff ends. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, clear. I think I'm a little bit ruffled. Oh look. Da 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 da. It's a good thing they didn't rob the Steel Samurai. Wonder if there's actually a statue of that thing in real life. I wonder. Meanwhile, Pedro's waiting for the ad break to end. Oh, we live now? Okay. So you're saying she used the master key. It's gonna every office door. It is controlled by security staff. It's used as controlled by security staff. Incredibly incriminating evidence when you say, praise the sun, like that one guy from Dark Souls. That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well. That was then, this is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me. I wonder if there was anyone also other than Miss Bird who could have used the master key. It seems that the only way to get Mr. Portsman to give me more details is to press him. Not that press. Hold it! Are you sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key? There's only one person on staff at this time of night, and tonight she's it. Isn't that right, Miss Bird? That's, true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir. Wasn't able to? What's that supposed to mean? Yes, moving on. I hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated. What do you mean unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal. But you can't really trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wasting time. Should I hear her out? Yep, not so fast. I too am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say. Didn't I just say it'd be a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies. I'll be the judge of that. Miss Bird, if you please. I discovered that the master key was missing at around 1 a.m., sir. What do you mean by missing? As in, it wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it. Mr. Portman, I believe this to be an important piece of testimony, don't you? I can't believe that someone like you would be taken in by such words. I'm not lying, sir. Anyway, if that's the case, then I'd like to know. If that's the case, then I'd like to know why you have the master key now. I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir. A likely story. And where's your proof that the key was stolen to begin with? But you just forgot where you put it and then found it again. I never lose things. I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it. Yeah, pal. Trust me. You don't want to test how bad our luck is. Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive. Well, you agree, Mr. Edgeworth? But... You still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Mr. Edgeworth's office. Her motive? Didn't we already establish it was theft? I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and at least tried the safe. It is as Mr. Portman says, Detective. Can't ignore the fact that all the evidence points towards a motive of theft. I'm done taking blows. It's time to counterattack with a few facts of my own. Her intent? From the messed up shelves to the wiped down safe, I'd say thievery. I concur that the culprit's motive appears to have been thievery. However, glad to hear that the great Miles Edgeworth is in agreement with little old me. However, with regard to the investigation of the bookshelves and safe, hey, good thinking asking for my opinion on the matter. Would it be too much for you to allow me to complete a full sentence? I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door. I thought we had established Detective Gumshoe's innocent pretty thoroughly. It's just a theory, one hypothesis among the many possibilities. I mean, I had my doubts about Miss Bird from the very beginning. If that's the case, then why didn't you mention her first? No, don't make that face. See? There goes the truth running the other way. Let's pick up the pace and see if we can catch up to it. Don't think you're catching my drift. But we are in agreement that the detective isn't the killer, right? If so, then I hope you'll understand when I say... since she is the only one who could have opened your office door, I'm gonna flaunt. Then that leaves Miss Bird as our prime suspect. Don't you think it's a bit early to be jumping to conclusions? Are you saying there's another way to open the door other than with the master key? Oh, I get it. Perhaps you had a spear made for someone else? I'll have you know, I have never made a spear, so what are you insinuating? Nothing. Guess I should have known better than to suggest that someone like you would. Is there anyone in this district who hasn't at least heard of Detective Gumshoe? Good point. He's practically a celebrity among us prosecutors. Hey, really? I never knew I was so talked about, sir. We're holding our collective breath, you know. For when you screw up so badly that you're literally chased off the force. What? Is that true, Mr. Edgeworth? Of course not. That's hogwash. Even he can admit it. Phew, don't scare me like that. I almost had a heart attack there. By dying message, you mean the bloody letters that spell out Gumshoe? I figured that whoever wrote his name must have wanted to frame him. Just the act of choosing his name is proof enough that the two knew each other well. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and present some evidence. I'd love to, but first we should listen. Listen. Whoops. Diari! Object! Huh? How did it come to this? This? Didn't I? Huh. Thought I did. Do you wish to continue insisting that Maggie Bird was set on stealing something? Why not? It's the truth after all. Woo! It's also by your logic that we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyway. That may be, but you must also be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe, the existence of which only is privy to prosecutors. I find it a little hard to believe that a hidden safe was a part of her cunning plan. But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything else upside down. I highly doubt that. I say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and the safe were targeted. Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. That means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either. Then are you proposing that the killer is a prosecutor? Interesting conclusion. That's definitely looking more probable. What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a different suspect in mind now? Curses! Why? What made you... What's with the angry face all of a sudden? It's all my fault. What do you mean? It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes. What did you say? Just say we were partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. That's why I told him. I told him on the secret safes. And that means... Yeah, I know. I only just told him too. Obviously, it was wrong of me to tell him. Still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim. Always claiming that the victim was a thief? And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you? Miss Maggie Bird. Excuse me? I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. But killing is going a bit too far, even in your risky profession. What the? You're still accusing Maggie of the murder? Yes and no. I mean, she had stumbled upon Jim, who had probably drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it? No, I couldn't. I could never do something like that, not even as a security guard, sir. Plus, even if he was a thief, he wouldn't have a key to this office. Which is precisely why he had to steal it, wouldn't you say? It was Jim who stole the master key. Ah! Pretty impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him. Mr. Portsman, are you honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief? I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything else to make sense. Has he no honor? Now then, I think we're done here. The investigation waits for no man. Would you people be so kind as to see yourself out? You can't kick us out. This is Mr. Edgeworth's office. But I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. You are all suspects to varying degrees, therefore ineligible to run the show. Listen, pal, how many times do I have to see this? Maggie can't be the culprit. Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself. But sir! Thank you for the follow, CyberKitty TCH. And out my ears. But sir! You have no choice but to accommodate his request. For now. Haha, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. Now then, if you could remove yourselves from my crime scene, I'd be most grateful. Mark my words, Mr. Portsman. We will meet again. That's a formal request. If that's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Now, don't disappoint me, you hear? And praise the sun. To be continued. Gonna give me a little drink of water before I continue on. I only just did stuff. Hey there, CyberKitty TCH. I'm doing quite well. Just doing a little bit of drinking this little thing of water. Oh, that Kirby just went up. I'll just save my progress in the meantime. Investigating the hallway soon. Playing a game that came out just recently. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. Yeah, what a day to be alive when All of the Ace Attorney games are currently on modern platforms. March 14th, 4:18 a.m. Prosecutors building 12th floor hallway. Darn it. It's not 4:20. I can't make the joke. What is wrong with that prosecutor? I can't believe how rude he was. It was unbelievable, pal. Please maintain your professionalism, detective. I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence. You'll see, sir. But we've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir. True. But so then what now? Looks like my life's fallen into another gigantic ditch. Do not despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway. Eh, really, sir? For example, this hallway. The linchpin of his argument against Miss Bird is related to the master key. In that case, this hallway is the perfect place to look for more information. Regarding the mystery surrounding my door. Prosecutors building 12th floor hallway. Begin investigation. Won't rest until I inspected every suspicion nook and cranny. And I'm gonna... Ah, man. That line. It's... Ah! Isn't that the missing Zero series file, sir? No doubt about it. The bloody letters mark it clear as day. There seems to be a few pages missing. A thief probably took only what was necessary and left the rest behind. So what are these zero files about, sir? I guess they've got to be something worth stealing in them, huh? Not particularly. It's just a collection of court case files. However, the cases within these files are not mine. Huh? They belong to the High Prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I have my reasons, but let's just say I was charged with keeping them as they were. That means the thief must have also wanted the file for a specific reason, right? Would seem so. Only the pages related to that case from 10 years ago are missing. Wonder why anyone would care about such an old case. A well-crafted, high-quality sofa for our visitors. The stitching is excellent. Talk about a luxury waiting area. These babes are also great for napping, you know. You would sleep even out here, detective? In a hallway? Whatever I do, I always wind up dreaming about giving testimony up on the stand. But it always ends the same way. You getting trounced by a lawyer. Isn't that awful? Maybe I should give it a try sometime. Envision myself winning naturally. Maybe I'll go talk to her. I was wondering if I may speak with you for a bit concerning this case. I've always been a big fan of the courtroom, but this is like a dream where I'm being cross-examined by the Miles Edgeworth. I can't let this chance pass me by. I must remember to ask her about the master key. I should jog her memory by showing my notes to her with X. Have we ever met the victim before? Well, I've seen him a couple of times before when I had to go to Mr. Portsman's office. Mr. Faith was always playing basketball with Mr. Portsman, sir. That sounds like fun. Just once I'd love to have played with him. Sounds fine, but the only person ever taken a shot was Mr. Portsman. All Mr. Faith ever did was pass him the ball, sir. On second thought, I don't think I'd fit in all with. Second thought, I don't think I'd have fit in. And second thought, I don't think I'd have fit in at all that well with them. Miss Maggie Bird, correct? I take it that you were an acquaintance of the detective? She was under my supervision back when she was still on the force, sir. One day she got caught up in a murder. Things started going downhill, so she quit. But I owe to Detective Gumshoe for introducing me to my current employer. Or so I thought until a few hours ago. Right before I was about to clock out for the night. You got caught up in this whole whirlwind of a case, correct? Don't worry, my whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Since I was 6 months old, when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building, I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of foods, failed at almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster, and now I even managed to be named a criminal just when I become a security guard. That's a lot to go through in one lifetime. I know. It's just when I thought I finally found my happiness, I wound up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved in all my bad luck. You don't need to worry about me, Miss Bird, nor do you need to worry about yourself. I will solve this case and prove your innocence. All I ask in return is for your cooperation. Yes, Mr. Redruff, sir, you can count on me. I'll do all I can to help. So, when did you discover that the master key was missing? By the time I realized it, I think it was around 1 a.m., sir. And I noticed it was back around 2:30 a.m. It was just sitting there on the ledge where the security room's reception window is. But I'm sure that in between those times, it was not just gone but stolen, sir. And hello there, Madeline E.T. W.T. Hello. Doing good. Just investigating in Moida. Why is such an important key stored in such an insecure place? It's not like that, sir. We always keep the key further inside the room, away from the window. Always, you say? Except for this time, correct? Well, I admit that was a bit careless, but I had my reasons. I left it out because I was sort of using it at the time. It was after that I used it that I left it sitting out on the ledge. She used the master key. Well, kind of, sort of. I do have these background stuff here. Although I did have stuff for the chat box and so on a little while ago, I just felt like never got to using it. I still have to, like, take care of a few more stuff. I'm just going back to Streamlabs after a little while, so it's probably going to take me a little more time to get some intermission stuff. Use the master key. Master. What do you mean by you use the master key? Oh, I had to use it to open the door for this prosecutor who had forgotten his key. Yeah, I mean, it's my job as a security guard, right? Ah. Heart. Let's see here. Have I liked... Ooh, I want yours. Yeah. Gonna whisper you. A little bit. Alright. Tonight just... Huh. Oh, okay. Not clearly. Pins. Ta-da! Don't know why I have stream elements in Nightbot like that. I think I forgot about Nightbot, to be honest. But anyways, back to where I was. Ah! What is it? That's right, I just remembered. The prosecutor who forgot his key. Oh, it's Mr. Portsman, sir. What? Please tell me more, Miss Bird, quickly. Forgetful Mr. Portsman. It was around 12 a.m. Mr. Portsman had forgotten his office keys, so he came down to security, sir. That's when you loaned the master key to him? No way! It's against regulations to loan the master key out to anyone. I walked with Mr. Portsman to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir. I see. And then, what happened after that, pal? Well, he called for me to come close up his office as he was leaving to go home. That was around 1:30 a.m., I think. So in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor... Alright, you used the master key twice tonight. Talk about suspicious, pal. I doubt you can say that you've never left your keys at home, detective. I think this calls for a thorough examination of Mr. Portsman's door. What is this basketball doing here? That's Mr. Portsman's prized possession, sir. I heard he also plays soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis. Right? Not a single one of these sports is suitable to being played in a hallway. What is the basketball hoop doing here? Hey, didn't this used to be just outside next to the building a long time ago? So when and why was it moved indoors? I don't remember exactly, but I saw one of the officers drag it up here recently. Drag it? I heard it wouldn't fit one in the elevator, so the poor guy had to bring it up himself. All the way up to the 12th floor. Alright. I'll see about getting back to you on Discord sometime later. I'll think about any other time. This thing loves to go doing this. It looks like you're in quite the pinch, Mr. Edgeworth. To be sure, a murder within the walls of the prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. We must find, apprehend, and punish the killer accordingly post-haste. Sounds like a mystery case you've got in your hands. If you ever feel lost or need some advice, my door is always open. Oh, gracious. I will keep your offer in mind. Who is this guy again? oh, poor Payne. I will never forget you. Won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Room 1203. I take it that this is Mr. Portsman's office? Yeah, you can't mistake it because of that basketball hoop, sir. Oh, that reminds me. Mr. Portsman had actually wanted 1202 really badly. But since you were already occupying it, Mr. Edgeworth, we put him next door, sir. So why was Mr. Portsman so particular about getting 1202? I'm not sure, but I bet it's because of something like his birthday is December 2nd? Yep, it's gotta be it. I can't think of another reason why. I can at least think of 3. Why am I even wasting time thinking about this? Here. The store is locked tight. I bet the old credit card trick wouldn't work here, Mr. Edgeworth. This is the office of a high prosecutor, detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar could get through them. Ah, so I guess that only a great cat burglar could get it. That must be where our culprit is. And I advise you to return that conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from. Can you use the master key? Miss Bird, I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story. What? No way, pal. I mean, sir. You said that you locked up Mr. Portsman's office around 1:30 a.m., correct? However, the master key had already been stolen at that time. Wow, nothing gets by you, Mr. Edgeworth. You saw that contradiction like a pro. I totally forgot all about that. Thanks to you, I remember it now. You're right. It was around that very time that I realized the master key was missing. And? Well, I'm a security guard, sir. I couldn't just admit to losing the master key, could I? So I, pretended to lock up his room, sir. You pretended? Yeah, I used my house key and made it look like I was locking up, sir. So, in actuality, you never did relock the door then. Well, I thought that maybe I could lock it after I found the key. Come to think of it, I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence that I hold? Eureka! There's a contradiction here between reality and the evidence. And what Miss Bird has, and if what Miss Bird has said is true, then why is this door locked tight? Huh? You know, you're right, pal. Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door? I'm certain of it, sir. And I don't think Mr. Portsman noted it himself that I hadn't. Which means what, sir? It either means that he actually does have the key to his office, or that the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one. She opened a different door, but how can you prove that? There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is we need to examine these. The prints on the number plate. They will tell us all we need to know. Everything, really? Like what, sir? Like, well, for example, and such as... Well, we know for sure that Detective Gumshoe's dinner only consists of instant noodles. Wow, that was amazing, sir. How did you know? Was that supposed to be a joke to cheer me up, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, that's it. Then we should get back to what we need to do, and that is... prints on the doorknob will tell us everything. Hey you! Yeah you, pal. Do us a favor and see what you can lift from this, okay? So, what did you find out? There's no such for such belligerent nostril flaring, Detective. Sir, I've only found Mr. Portsman and Mr. Faith's prints on this doorknob. So only 2 people's prints were found on this, huh? That's pretty decisive. Huh? I'm lost, sir. Thinking logically, certain other person's prints should be on this knob as well. Take that! Don't you find it odd that the prints of the person who unlocked this door are absent? You mean, yes, the door that Miss Bird opened could not have been this, but a different one. What have we here? What wasn't I expected every suspicious looking nook and cranny? What's this? What are you looking at, sir? Oh, hey, about a game. That's okay, Detective. I just found the position of this hoop to be a little off. Hey, you're right, sir. I guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk. The positioning of the hoop is definitely unnatural. I better take note of this. Senior Parton's office, there are signs of that it's been moved. What is this? Looks like a scrap of paper. I'll get it, sir. Let's see. Oh, there's something written on it. I brought the 3 pieces of evidence. I brought the 3 pieces of evidence by just what, like we talked about on the phone. But it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later. Looks like a note from the victim. Yeah, and it's for Mr. Portsman. Is this basketball property of Mr. Portsman? Yes, sir. He's always ready for a match. Basketball, soccer, dodgeball, tennis. Doesn't matter what sport it is, he's game. Although I think it'd be a little hard to play tennis with this ball. Ho ho! That isn't the point you should be focusing on, Detective. You're right, sir. Now I know what I should be focusing on. Bad, Mr. Portsman. Someone should teach him to clean up his toys after he's done playing. I think we've reached the end of this conversation. Won't rest until I suspected every suspicion looking cranny. 1202. These 4 numbers on a number plate alone proclaim this to be my office. Whoops. Hey, the number plates. Whoops. Hey, these number plates slide right out, sir. They have to be able to take the plate off when a room becomes vacant, you know. Although, the idea that it can be so easily removed is kind of... I don't see any signs of forced entry. And according to the guard, no signs that the lock was picked. According to the guard, no signs that the lock was picked either, sir. Meaning that the door was really opened up with the key. Did you happen to ask if any prints were lifted from the doorknob? Apparently, the doorknob's clean as a whistle. Wiped, they think. Wherever this thief is, they did a good job of not leaving any clues behind. Investigation complete. Looking around in this hallway has actually paid off quite handsomely. Huh? How so, sir? In a variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little chat with the real culprit of this case. You know who the killer is? Oh, Mr. Edgeworth. As long as my logic is sound, then yes. The mastermind behind this murder is none other Mr. Portsman. What? Mr. Portsman? I know it. That's exactly why my logic sensors were telling me too. I suspected it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being the killer, sir. That is anything but logical. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. Come what may, it's time to knock on Truth's door. Truth, are you in there? Come in, Truth. Come in, Truth. I wonder if it's our Truth. I don't want to hear him say, "What's up?" every single time. What's up? March 14th, 5:12 a.m. My prosecutor's office, room 1202. Darn it! Wait, did we just spend at least an hour out there? Mr. Portsman! Mr. Portsman, I finished processing the bloody letter, sir. Alright, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. Ooh, good catch. Okay, good. Looking good. You there, take good care of this. Yeah! Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe, end of the line for you, Portsman. We've got you now. Call out your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. Is this some kind of joke? It's no joke. We know, Mr. Jacques Portsman, that you are the guilty party in this case. You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be mad too. So I guess you can stay. If you promise to stay out of her way. You intend to hide your crime under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job? I can see right through the unsightly paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl. Ho ho ho! Who would have ever thought it would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? How dirty of a trick of me to do. A legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. But there was always this insistent chatter about forged evidence with that guy. He teaches me that I've got to stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know? Are you done trying to play mind games with me? Because they won't work. Mind games! I forgot how the song goes. Mind games. By Foreigner, you know. The only thing that you should be using that mouth is the only thing you should be using that mouth of yours is, for now, is explaining yourself. Although that too will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up. Well, aren't we full of ourselves, even though you have yet to prove anything? Monster Portsman, rebuttal. I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, bud. There's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how may I ask, do you propose that I unlocked your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad doing this to you, but I've got work to do, so we're done here. Sorry, but we are not finished yet. Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusations on something? I'll show you what I'm basing my accusations on, with evidence. But anyways... battery. No battery. No battery. The battery. Low battery. Low battery. Anyways, hold on a moment. Stay as positively brimming as your Portsman. I'm gonna look for some. No, I just. Oh, I see. And on the other one, behind this. Find a way to stick that all together again. Hold it! My accusation is harebrained. It's a harebrained idea, is it? You tell me. I'd say it is. After all. Oh, and what kind of evidence are we talking about here? Jim was my partner, so you can't say I had a motive for killing him. And that's it. That's not even an anthill, let alone a mountain. Ho ho ho! But it's more than enough, wouldn't you agree? Might I recommend that you review what the word evidence means? That doesn't change the fact that the evidence doesn't point to me as the killer. Hold it! Unfortunately, I believe I already have shown how early your speculation means nothing, as I insist that I cannot gain access to your room. What should you do now? Should I raise an objection? You claim to have had no way to open my door. However, is that really the honest truth? Haha, alright, I'll humor you. Go ahead, shoot. Very well then. I promise that you use this to open my door. believe you were able to open my office door with the master key, no less. Objection! Wait. Hold on for a sec. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know. Precisely. You were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct. That's right. You used your finger to direct this person to open my door with the key. You ought to ask Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes? Yeah, I kind of forgot my key at home. Happens a bit too often for my taste, you know. But the room you had Miss Bird open at the time was not your own, was it? What? You have quite the imagination. Well, why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we? I'm certain that it was Mr. Portsman's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure I was opening the right door, sir. See, Miss Bird backs up my story. Yet what if you had to mislead her, to fool her into thinking what you wanted? Ha! Now what do we suppose I did that? By switching the number plates on her doors, for example. That's right, they do slide out pretty easily. Furthermore, you then used one other thing to give a very strong impression. That the door was opening was yours and not, in fact, mine. To make the person think that it was his room. What? The basketball hoop, sir? It's quite the peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building. Which is why it left an unusually strong impression on you. It's an object perfectly suited to sit outside the office of a peculiar prosecutor. Wah! That's very true, sir, because there was a basketball hoop sitting there. I thought the door I was opening had to be Mr. Portsman. There are signs that the hoop has been moved. To sit in front of my office, to be sure. I see. So that's how you throw suspicious on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture is a little off the racetrack. Conjecture's rebuttal. Then you're just spouting nonsense. The girl opened my office door. After all, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me. So he intends to claim his innocence to the end, does he? I'm as pure as innocent as my jacket. Miss Bird is dirty as guilty as the jacket she wears. But that jacket's not dirty, I'll have you know. I just watched it yesterday. Please calm down, for I intend to show who the one truly covered in. For I intend to show who is the one truly covered in slime here. Ho ho ho! That was a lie. What are you talking about? How is that a lie? This is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman. A note? Was it left under your door? Or did you not notice? Right here it says, but you're out. You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So then, where were you and what were you doing? Ah! Shall I explain it in full detail for you? You were busy snooping around in my room, the very room you had Miss Bird open for you. Another bop. Oh my god, that guitar solo. You were busy snooping around in my room as usual, the very room that you had Miss Bird open for you. Sorry, to objection, that's just nonsense. You have no evidence that I made the girl open your door for me. Oh, but I do. I have very decisive evidence. No way. It is proof positive that you had Miss Bird open the door for you. I don't know what it was. Your door does it for friends. My door, how what for? Come on, I didn't. That you didn't find anything. You sure are good at wasting time. You're right, I didn't find anything. Definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints. Her prints. What do they have to do with anything? Let's put it this way. If she really was the one who opened your door, then her prints should have naturally be on the doorknob she touched. Heck! Further, all the prints on my office doorknob have been wiped clean off. I can only assume it's because Mrs. Bird's prints were on it. Don't you think it's time you gave up your charade? We all know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me. And Detective Faye found you out. Possibly because you heard something coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Face to silence him. And I had the misfortune to return when I did. You would have to threaten me as you escaped. As I said when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office. Huh? And what's just so funny, pal? That look of stiff seriousness on the face of this office's prime prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me on is simply too much to bear. There's just nothing like it in the world. What? Mr. Edgeworth just explained it all, and he even backed it up. You're the murderer. Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime already. And as I said earlier, it's also circumstantial, so full of conjecture. You say you checked my doorknob for prints? Well, I can readily confess that I have wiped that knob down as well. Eh? I'm a little obsessive-compulsive, you see. I didn't want to touch a doorknob that you had touched. Which is why I wiped the knob as soon as I could after you opened the door. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and my own prints would be on there. You made up just now, didn't you? Furthermore, as for the note Jim left for me, do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, he could have just left it there before I arrived at the office. Like early evening, for example. Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your own doorway? Hey, even geniuses fail at times. I was probably too preoccupied by work-related matters, although that's no excuse. Now, that's just a flat-out lie. There's no way you didn't notice a note that size. But you can't prove that, can you? Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up here, sir. Portsman makes a good point. I can't prove that he didn't simply overlook it. Besides, I have an airtight alibi. Airtight, you say? I just only realized that I have one as we were talking. I guess it would have been better for us all if I had told you sooner. Portsman alibi. If memory serves, he came back to this office around 2 a.m., correct? And it was then you had that unfortunate confrontation and gunplay with the culprit. At that exact time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around. I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's a perfect alibi. Do you really think it's that perfect? Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself. Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll go check out his alibi, sir. Be right back. Mr. Archer, sir. I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsman said. The guys down in criminal affairs said they saw him at around 2 a.m. You see? Well, the evidence points to him being the culprit. So there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. Portsman alibi. You are correct. It was around 2 a.m. Are you sure? It's really important to me that you're spot on with the time. I remember checking my watch then. Make no mistake, it was 2. Oh, giving testimony like a pro. Okay, so you came back at your office at 2. It was then that you had that unfortunate... It is, as you say, however. Yes, however, you were the only one who kind of bumped into the culprit. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw? It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see. Oh, come now. I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you? Beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated. I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here. Oh well, it doesn't matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you run into the culprit. So you pay the criminal affairs department a visit. Yep, right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight back for the precinct. Well, we did go and ask around to confirm your testimony. Heh, and it was just as I said, right? Yes, sir. Remember, a detective said they saw you out around that time. See? I had the perfect alibi. That's the ace I had up in my sleeve. Arg. Impossible. He actually does have a perfect... Impossible. He actually does have the perfect alibi. What's wrong? Why the sudden sylvan look on your face? Can't you say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we've reached the end of the line, and it's time to get off the crazy train. I just want to get off this crazy train. You there. Sir, please escort the young lady out, but remember, be gentle. Maggie! Detective Gumshoe! Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn the situation around. If only I had a clue. Did I miss something that can help me out on his alibi? If only I had a clue. Did I miss something that can help me cast doubt on his alibi? I need to calmly think this through one more time, and with logic. There were 2 bullets left at the scene of the crime. One that robbed Mr. Favos' life, and one that nearly robbed me of my jacket. However, the murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once, meaning that it is entirely possible that a second gun was used in my office tonight. But seeing as how the killer had to steal Mr. Faith's gun, I doubt that the killer had another gun up their sleeve. Therefore, the second gun could have been the property of an entirely different person, which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. Supposing there was yet another visitor tonight, that would also resolve the issue of why my shelves were appended twice. We know that the shelves were disturbed once before and once after the murder. So it shouldn't be much of a stretch to think that it was the work of 2 different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun, then killed him with it, and then once again after the murder by our second culprit, who was the owner of the second gun. And we suppose that second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back. Objection! Mr. Portsman, it seems like I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case. Great, so you finally come to your senses. Mr. Edgeworth! Sir, what are you saying? This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case. What do you mean? The person I ran into was just your average thief. Thief? But sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts? Not at all. It simply means that the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality, 2 culprits stole into my office tonight. What do you mean 2? It explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there were 2 guns. Mr. Portsman tricked Miss Bird and gained entry into my office. Objection! Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know. If you could please along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. While I listen to this music. I love this confession part. Alright, better it was. If you could please go on with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Grrr. Now then, returning to my scenario, Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time. So then, this would be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right? Correct. And then, just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith? But why did Mr. Faith come into your room, sir? Probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be my guess. Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right? And he must have thought it was odd, so he came into this office to check it out. Correct. And as a detective, that was the right thing to do. But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there. Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. Waited for a chance to stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then he killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down, left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left a fake time message behind. You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that? Well, if things were simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room. And this is where it gets complicated. There was another visitor, sir. Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor has no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room, then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize. The stolen zero file, right, sir? Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during the encounter. So the shelves got messed up twice in the two bullets. It was all because of two different people were doing those things at two different times. Precisely. So now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief, and it was not in fact Mr. Faith's killer. Because I gotta have faith. I gotta have faith, buddy Faith. Your alibi at the time, for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant. Because we now know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit. Objection! What's so funny, pal? Absolutely splendid. Absolutely flawless. I mean, wait. Your scenario explains everything. Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth, after all. Mr. Edgeworth, after all. But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right, it would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there is still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor. Grr. Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with that, sir. But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point. Don't say that, sir. I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something if I must. You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. The person you really was just a plain old thief. Then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct. Sportsman Alibi Part 2. The thief you ran into should be your real suspect, you say? We should be out there looking for that thief right now. He might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. When Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at Criminal Affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happens around here after I left. So you think we should be out there looking for the thief? Of course, now isn't the time to be having these dead-end discussions. I don't think it's all dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it. But first time I hear this music. That bass. That thief you ran into should be your real suspect. What did you say? Actually, no, I wouldn't. Why not? That's elementary. The dying message, of course. Mr. Fave's killer was very clear. Mr. Fave's killer very clearly left those letters on the spines of those files. And it was after they were on there that the thief stole one of them. You mean the Zero files, right? That's how we also know that the letters themselves were a setup, not from Mr. Fave. If the thief was a killer, do you think they would try to undermine themselves? Or maybe the killer just didn't think of that either? Yeah, that must be it. Maybe, just maybe. Once escaped, I highly doubt a thief will linger nearby. Well, you never know. Maybe they didn't get what they were really after. Oh, you talk like you know quite a know. Oh, you talk like you know quite a bit about this thief. It's nothing like that. I have no idea about anything, after all. But according to Mr. Faith's notes... Hold on, I thought we already cleared that up. Then we see that Jim left the note for me in the early evening? If you have proof that he left it at a different time, say, just before he was murdered. I don't have any, no. So you see? So I insist again that I was in my office the entire time. Why didn't you go there with Mr. Faith? Ah, that's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know, there's sofas in the hallway? He likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits. And what of the evidence you brought? There were things related to yesterday's case. Just 2 items. A gun and a pendant. Interesting. This piece of evidence testimony seems too crucial to let slip through the cracks. A gun and a pendant? Yes, this gun, which was a murder weapon, and this pendant, which belonged to the victim. And why were you taking them to criminal affairs? There was something in a past case file I wanted to compare these two to. But all this has nothing to do with this case right now. Anyway, I believe you'll find the long paper trail I left to be your satisfaction. This is all matching up with what Detective Gumshoe found out. I can't expect you to know, can I? No, but I guess you can expect me to take a guess based on logical deductions. Oh, let's see what you deduce. Jim waited for me to leave, and then stole the master key. For the purpose of sneaking into your room, of course. That's when Miss Bird caught him red-handed. The murder occurred. It's all exactly as I laid out earlier. I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. You just have to find a way to prove it. Objection! Only 2 pieces. I believe that the proper phrase is you fail. He has indeed failed. Woohoo. Excuse me? You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me. Oh, that was smooth! What are you talking about now? I haven't hidden anything from you. Well, here's a piece of evidence I think you should read carefully. Ah, it says that Mr. Faith was reading 3 pieces. Yes, and this is the victim's real-time message to you, Mr. Portsman. I can't believe it. Get tripped up by simple arithmetic. To get tripped up by simple arithmetic. Where is the missing piece of evidence? It's... You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe. You don't have to say it, sir. I'll pat the guy down my head to toe. Hey, Jamon! Why don't you come any closer? I'm warning you, Jamon! This is all part of the investigation, pal, so don't even think about stopping me. No. The end. Hey, what's this? He had this on him, sir. Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide. Well, why would he hide something like that? There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber. Because it would unequivocally point to that person himself as the real killer. Yuck. Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. For the section of the tape that will drive the last nail into his coffin. KG8 incident. Ooh. KG8 incident? That's a police case number, sir. Does that mean this video is evidence from that case? Interesting. However, what's recorded on this isn't important right now. Let's give the case scene a thorough once-over. Ah, that's blood, isn't it? Yes, then I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh. You mean this might be Detective Faith's blood? No. You've got it all wrong. No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. You told us that you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now, you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video. Yeah, it's totally suspicious. Was it at the moment of his death? The Detective Faith had this videotape on his personage when you killed him. You know very well there's no way to prove that. Not even we were to examine this tape for fingerprints? If I had to take a guess, I'd say the only ones on here would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Faith. No, impossible. And of course we're in an ad break. Should have done that still. Huh? Let's see here. March 14th, 5:47 a.m. High Prosecutor's Offices, Room 102. 1202. Man, I wonder if they're tired. Mr. Portsman has been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir. Very good. And the results we got back from the lab techs on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. The blood work came back, and it was definitely Mr. Faith's blood on there. And as a bonus, they were able to lift a few of Mr. Faith's fingerprints as well. Thank you so very much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see your cool detection skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir. It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in a murder in my office. Please accept my apologies. I love that little thing he does. Look at him bow. I was nothing, really, compared to what I've been through, I mean. I consider myself lucky that it was only a burglary and a murder this time, sir. If it had been a holdup or hostage situation, I'd have thrown my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from a goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person. Something tells me we should have hired a different person for a security detail. You know something, sir? That Mr. Portsman really was one corrupt prosecutor. Why do you say he was corrupt? Well, I heard that there was a number of suspicious things related to his court cases. There's even rumors about how some of the evidence he uses is forged, sir. Forged evidence, huh? Forged evidence. Oh boy. And they say that he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons. Ew, that guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession. We never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office. Yeah, whenever he got near that topic, he just clammed up. Though, we can be pretty certain that it was to steal something. This is just between you and me, sir, but there's a rumor that some sort of huge organization is involved behind the scenes. Oh? Well, well. If Mr. Portsman is not willing to divulge anything, it certainly lends to credence to that rumor. It would seem that we haven't heard the last of this. Eh? Huh? And Mr. Portsman isn't the bad guy? I didn't say that. Rather, there's still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance to this piece of evidence. Take that! The person who stole this file. The other villain of the night. Yeah, I wonder who it was, pal. What happened to the stolen pages? I wonder, who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint? Mr. Edger, sir! Yes? I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir. This card! What is it, sir? Is that a bird or something on there? It's not just any bird. It is the mark of the raven. A three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, detective. Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? The great thief everyone's talking about? Yes, it is the mark of the great thief Yatagarasu. 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 Into the mark of a legendary bird. The Yatagarasu is noble to the end. A modern Robin Hood. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. Though we don't know how much of this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. The Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The theft is always performed in silence, and always with perfection. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to the mass media, along with this single card. Although it has been a while since the Yatagarasu's last appearance. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, look, something's written on the back. What? Let me see. It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files. So the person who stole the contents of the file was the Yatagarasu? Yatagarasu. Organization. Quite a few keywords are popping up in this mystery. The murder in my office. The return of the great thief Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming, for they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago. 2 days ago. 2 days ago. 2 days ago. The end. Turnabout visitor. let's say it now. Objection! Alright. Actually, this is perfect timing. I didn't think I would get through this case this earlier, but now I have done what I've done, and that is good enough for me. So yeah. All right. Anyways, let's see here. All right. I think I'm just going to end things here. I have to do something soon. I was planning on making this streaming earlier, but I was caught up in a few other things. So yeah, this has been Dry Oasis. I've been your host, and these have been my two co-hosts, Kirby and Snorlax. Say goodbye, Kirby and Snorlax. Bye now. And as always, you can follow me here on Twitch, on Patreon, under X, under YouTube, or under Discord under the Dry Oasis banner. And let's see here. All right. Money. Let's see here. All right. All right. And for those still watching, I hope that you've had a great day. And if not, I hope the rest of your day will be better, or tomorrow's better for you. And yeah, so take care. Bye bye.